time, all the way to
No, there's one.
Ana yat e alan sosh. She nahan yahigi do nashigi she rian sorol inishia can to cheat me the swindle cut nasafni e bashushin to higlini e dash chedon nakai ne e dash nulle. Welcome again to our final installment of the Dine College Kia Ani Special Collections series. As a recap again, with the Dine College Kia Ani Special Collection Series is a public-facing symposium series highlighting the special collections and resources that the library has that define the educational and self-deterministic legacy of the college. Tribal history, language, and culture often end up in repositories outside of the communities in which they came. Many researchers and scholars look to large institutions, such as state archives and university special collections, for this knowledge. This series brings scholars, leaders, and instructors that help build Dine College and the collections that document this history of self-determination in American Indian higher education. To talk about these collections and what they have done in empowering Dine people and advancing intellectual history and production on tribal homelands. This series is co-sponsored by the Andrew W. Mellon Fellowship for Diversity, Inclusion, and Cultural Heritage at Rare Book School. And we are thankful for their help for making this series possible. All resources discussed here, particularly the Dine Educational Philosophy recordings, are currently housed in the AV room. We are unable to bring that resource, but we have the resource list available, including some relevant resources available here in this room. All relevant resources will also be available on our events homepage, and the recording of this event will also be available on there as well. In this final segment, Dine Educational Philosophy Lecture Recordings and Curriculum, we are going to discuss these recordings in which they were the backbone of a faculty professional development curriculum at Dine College. Created over a span of 6 years from 2009 to 2015, the recorded lectures are delivered by faculty, traditional knowledge holders, and Hataałii in the community, and many of whom hold all three of these roles, both in English and Dine Bizaad, on topics and concepts integral to the educational philosophy of the Dine people, such as kinship, ceremonies, oral histories, creation stories, Cornstalk philosophy, and more. Today, I am excited and happy to bring Dr. Avery Denny to speak about these recordings and to talk about the educational philosophy. And we are very honored today to have our colleges, Jish and Gish, brought down for this purpose. Avery Denny is the president of the Dine Hataałii Association and is a faculty at the School of Dine Studies at Dine College. He has taught courses in herbology, holistic healing, and Dine culture, oral history, and philosophy. Avery is a Dine Hataałii singer of Hojanje, Blessing Wake Etche, Naje, and has dedicated his life to retaining and teaching Dine Bizaad. He offers stories about the origins of leadership for the Dine and the power of language. Cool. Yeah. Dr. Avery Denny.
Yat anatso. Shik doshitene. Kodo nich dahotisi. Che yat kodo koze. Misle. Hotsohne Washishin. Patnesahne Dashiche. Sanjikine Dashinada. Toba ot in the Asha. Aro hostodi to horiete adi. Shido adi. Shiyaho. Aro quite here at Dine College. I came on board here about 41 years ago. Just imagine I was just a little boy when I got here, got hired to be a culture teacher. So it's good to be here. I enjoy my work here every day. And really, certainly, probably the last one of the scholars that used to work here. Now they're all retired or they're all gone. So we had the 5th floor of knowledge holder at one time. And those are the people that started from 1968 when this NCC, Navajo Community College, was established in mini farms. And those are the ones that wrote out the curriculum. Those are the ones that did the scope and sequences of the classes in Navajo language and Navajo culture. So everybody left except me. I'm still here. And so it will be somebody's turn to step up and take these real important information and we patent it and we put it into the United States and register it as, intellectual property. So nobody can use it. Nobody can take it. So the question every time is how, who, where did you get it, or who taught you? We always say a lot of the stories and the emergent stories come from the holy people. They're the ones that gave it to us. They're the ones that made these. It's not human, it's not man-made. Here. But today, I'm going to focus on the college philosophy. Go ahead. So just really brief, at the time, 1863 and 1869, we were forced to go on the long walk to Fort Sumner. Over there, our people spent 4 years there. And then they signed a treaty. The peace treaty of 1868 was on June the 1st, 1868, around about 9 o'clock in the morning. They signed the treaty. It took 3 days from May 28, 29, 30, and June 1st. This is the chief that signed, Barbencito. And over there, Western education was offered to us to be bilingual, to be bicultural. It was offered to us. A lot of our people, they say that we did not ask for it, but we had no choice, no alternative. We had to just accept it, and so that we could come back to our homeland. Urgency, it says that. 1868 to 1950. There's a time, in that time, at the turn of the century, 1900, and all the way to 1950. Right? This is our war chief. Chief Manelito has teach Ilhajene. Barbencito is the peace chief. It has teach Dagahi. Well, yeah. So just imagine these people that went on the long walk were tough and strong. They never gave up. They signed the treaty to come back home. So problems began to happen around about 1950 to 1960. As you can see on the screen there, the people or our elders, they began to have concern. They said, they lost their language, loss of culture, loss of identity. And all of a sudden in our communities, crime, there is PTSD, historical trauma is going on, cultural deterioration, mental disorder condition. In the schools, the BIA schools, the grad schools, the school at the time, there was problem with the young, generation at the time. Cultural gap was already happening. Tradition, and then the ones that are going to school, there was no communication. They couldn't even talk to each other because they lost the language. And then, as you can see in the community, they recognized there was different chemical dependency. So these are all like colonization, assimilation, acculturation, health problems, social problems, problems with educational leaders. There were all problems at the time. So anahot hazli, the state of urgency means anahot hazli. The elders, they woke up, they saw something that was not right. So it's dysfunctional. We Navajos, we're not supposed to be like that. So researchers come in, they did their research, they collected their data, and they did their assessment, and they did all of that. And by that time, they reported to the Navajo Nation, because the Navajo Nation said, okay, you can do a study. What is the problem here? So then these researchers, they went to the tribal council and they gave their report on their finding. So at the end, the Western education, the Western medicine, the scholars, they came to a conclusion and they said, we did this to you, but we can't fix it. Die inhilia. But Hataałii azzeedolni ben dotsihiki be Hataałii ego and od lishiki ein hieten. So they're finding they came out and says just the truth that we can't fix it. But you, as Navajo, you as the people, you have your own medicine. Anhi nihina hallo, nihina hallo, nihi hathad hallo. Oh, you have your own education, your own discipline, your own pedagogy, your language, your philosophy, and your knowledge. Anhin hier holona bend otsihiki. Anhi ze edochil bend otsihiki anhi. We don't have anything like that. We just confuse you. Go ahead and turn the slide again. So, elders are speaking out, concerned. We'll put this the education. The echo the echo not in what you aid. A lot of our people will not understand this. Our people don't realize this. So we have to create that. Like, how is it going to help our people? And who's going to question us? Yes, it's going to be our own relative because they don't understand. They're going to label this as religion. But we have to explain that Navajo Community College, now the college, we have to put cultural teaching in there. The type of education that will heal the generation. It's not something that will be new. This is relearning process. It has a male and female education. It is not evil. It will not hurt you. They're going to question us. So we have to be ready to answer that. So that's our case. We'll implement it like that. You can see that she said her TV, her computer was Navajo font. I guess it's not. Dine Bizaad. Dine echo not tin. Ben ots be Hataałii otlil beniye. Ha hayatye che hayatye adolni. You know, like. So this is supposed to be all be Navajo font. It will look nice, but today we forgot. Joed beniye, you see, to heal. These are process. Jot the nebe not tin nek echo not tin bend ots. Be not otas. Hataałii and otlis. Ha hayatye che hayatye adolni. Wow. Hagoshi Jiyala. You just left your home and went into the city. But when you come to this institution, you're going to come back into your home. At the time, nobody said we're going to give a grade. At the time, nobody said you're going to fail the course. At the time, there was no exam. It was basically just for healing the young mind to come back home, to speak their language, to learn how to sing. to learn how to pray in the Navajo language. So this one right here, so yeah, right. It's a learned terminology. People make books, and you could probably see on the shelves over there that scholars, they did their thesis and they did their, getting their PhD degree, just writing about that's the way they understand it. Us Navajo healers, we see that term. It's a wellness path. You see these posters, and you see the vision from the top down. Vision, mission, and philosophy. Navajos, they see it as from the ground. Vision, mission, philosophy. Basically, it's just real simple. Ata ahaya, ata hasan, ate hani. Algo sila. Algo di depende entiendo. So anarebik hojon means, just say like at the end of the prayer it says, "Sitsejo hojondo, shikete hojondo, shiyake hojondo, shikike hojondo, shenad ats hojondo, sezad hojondo, nashado." So anarebik hojon nishlo nashado. It goes like this, like a heel or a paradigm or something like that. Kujit, the epitome of what you're trying to be as a human being. You're completely healed. Now you can set your goal. Now you can go be. So, Nancy, not in sa, yat instantly, a day, ya net nishipira. Whatever you choose to decide, your career, your work, family, whatever, you can go do that. So, what is going to be some of the philosophy that's going to be used here at the Dine College? We use the Cornstalk. The second one is the cradle board. The third one is whole one, philosophy. The end a child rearing. Tichito Piyaho Ato Benz, like that. And there's plenty more. For my 40 years here, I had a student come into my classroom, and she was about 45 years old, and she had gone to school to Harvard, got her PhD degree, and she came back to the Navajo reservation and sit into the foundation of Navajo culture. A Navajo lady that was 45 years old. And right there, she realized that she was still in the cradle board as a Navajo. Out at the fifth floor in 514, she rolled off the cradle board. She learned how to crawl, and then she learned how to sit up. And pretty soon she stood up and made her first step as a Navajo. Pretty soon she started to walk as a Navajo child. The other Shema Dini in Navajo, she said Shema. Other we had to take Tadatin and put it into her mouth, not like this, but like this. She was tall. So then right about after midterm, we had a lesson on Kinata. She went through that. So that's how it is. So if you are Navajo and if you don't know how to speak Navajo, you're just a little baby, still learning how to walk. Until you say Shema, you have reached that time. That is Sa'anare Bikahajon. You learn Genosela Ebenia. So over here at Chile, right in front of the library, April the 13th, 1971, from mini farm to over here, they did their groundbreaking. And this individual's name is Shadla Ben Nalla A Kiyaani Hataałii gave up this grazing land to have a campus be built, elementary school, the clinic here. So you say, okay, here, use it. So at 9 o'clock in the morning, the seed of Dine Education was planted. You see Peter McDonald, Wayne Espinal, Charles Bernard, and right here, these two Navajos, they're the uncles, the nephews. And these songs and prayer were used here. A lot of people, they said, let's go get the shovel from Western Auto. The elders said, nah, that's the Lagana. We have our own way. We have our own teaching. In a circle. There's even a song that they utilize. So it goes like this, just a kind of like a little bit. Hey, oh, they used that song that morning. Right there. There was no building. It was just sagebrush right there. And they put an indicator, this post right here, that was the center of the campus. And they went over there facing east. They sang that song. To reach out to the holy people. That's spiritual intelligence. To ask the holy people to come over here. We're doing something here. It's like not begging. It's like commanding. We're going to build this. They said that in their songs and in their prayer. 2008 was the 440 years annual. We did our dedication right at the same place. So at that time, I did the rededication, the groundbreaking. So we went over there at the library, and at that time, Ferlin Clark, he was our president. So the basket that's right there on the ground is right here, and we utilize this gish. It is right there. So right here on this gish planting, it says April the 13th, 1971. So about 56 years ago, they utilized. I would say that it was fresh at the time, and the way it was cut right here, it has significant meaning. At the top here, it has live eagle feather for our faith, belief. The turkey is all kinds of food, all different kinds of food. I don't know if so we utilize that. Over there on this side, see that man, This one right here. Edward Bahi Harvey. He's the one that went out there. He was the Kaidinet Hitlini. So he's the one that cut this and brought it back to use right there. So Jack Jackson, Guy Gorman Sr. So they all came around at the time, rededication. So to celebrate that many years, go ahead and turn. Groundbreaking. So we're going forward at the groundbreaking. So curriculum. How are we going to go about that? And these Navajo scholars, they already had the knowledge. They already had the educational system in their mind, in their prayers, in their song. So they chose the recreation of the 4 clans. So in this campus, it will be like a Hogan, or one Edon. Ha Ashisa Anike Kiyaan can. That 7th-floor building is all right, there we go. There's always a glitch, huh? Yeah. All right. Good. Turn this light. We're back from the commercial. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So, at the end of the day, if we're going to build and if you're going to have healing here, number 1, we have to have a chish. This one right here. Started with the basket, ceremonial basket right here. Did. This is a real, it's not a wedding basket. The Yajinshna, your Gresa, between Sli, go to Shne, Hash, Yaki, Hash, one. There's a quite a besortisan, a bojich. So, Navajo land, which will yaki, the Nebizad will yaki, a bohido also. So that you could be able to pray in Navajo, the Nekaho, so there's a Niki, besortisan and all that. So I was telling these boys over here that we had a traditional knowledge holder that did the prayer, and at the end he said, "Hojonasle, Hojonasle, 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 my Lord Jesus Christ, Amen." I said, "What the heck? Where did that come from?" Navajos don't say, "My Lord Jesus Christ, Amen." You see, we're confused here. So drop that. We don't need that. That belongs to somebody else. We have no right to have it. It doesn't even belong to us. To learn how to speak your Dine Bizaad. An hit hizad the basilla. Bohito alpeniye. The next one is the arrowhead. There's probably about 4 of them in here. Beatsen hona. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tha ina kita di kona beatsen. When we have ceremony here for the college, then we take these out. Tobacco, not beatsen. The pipe is right there. Tobacco pipe. The next one is the college necklace. The college. It used to be Navajo Community College, but then the college. The president, he wears this around his, when he goes out there and wears it. The next one, this is for research. You can't see the future, but about 1 second ago, not even at the beginning of time, where it was just dark. It tells you where you had been, what did you do, all of that. Research. Then the songs and the prayer go with it. Pipe tobacco. One of my Shumayazan, he took the silversmithing and he took it off and said, "All right, let me put this in there with it too." So he put it in there, and a lot of these items, are Hataałii danlo. Kinalta. Eliag, cheatik ons Eliatide. Ado hasto. So the be isla, George at him, what the nilya ben otzi ben nad otal ben hadal and otlil beniya jish nihiaholo. So 150 years later, after Fort Sumner, today, 56 years from 1968, all the original elders, they're all gone. We're the next generation. I am the next generation. Somebody has to take this to another 50 years. How do you preserve, protect our intellectual property? One thing is our stories, no assumption, it's the yin, sacred. It stays in there no matter what. You can't separate. It has to be all be included in order for it to be functional. Not man-made. The holy people's teaching. So 56 years is late. And that concludes my little talk here. It's kind of fascinating that when I came to this institution, I heard stories, many stories. One of the stories that I heard from my uncle, there used to be a student ASDC president. He's the one that went to Washington, D.C., and where this man from Rough Rock rode his horse down to many farm trading posts. He bought kerosene and food supply. But later on, he ended up at the Blessing Way. He arrived over there. And I was over there. I remember that old man came in and sat by me. His name was Yazi Bikay. So he sat by me, he ate, and then he listened in. And he was supposed to go home that day, but he said, "Oh, I'll just stay here to witness the ceremony." So at the time, as I was sitting there, I saw Dean Jackson and Jet Jackson. They were the patient. And Billy Sam was the Hataałii that was doing the Hujjonja for the twins. And at midnight, they took all these folders, binders, books, and they put it on the blanket there. We're going to take this tomorrow to Washington, D.C. So they had a ceremony all night. They binge it. So I was sitting by the door over there, and there was nobody there to help. So I believe that I was the only one that knew how to go around in there, because these other people in there, the educated one, didn't know how to sit, didn't know how to. Some of them, they were laying down. But the Hataałii said, not upset. So I looked around, nobody's moving. So I guess I'm the only one that understood Navajo. So I got up and laid it up, because back home I know how to do that. I've seen it done. And the next morning, they loaded up the station wagon, all those books and papers, and they're all ready to go. They said, "We're going to go to Farmington, fly to Albuquerque, from there DC, or from there to Dallas, and then from there to Washington, D.C. We have a schedule. No, we got to go. No, so the last person that's supposed to show up, I didn't show up. So Yazi was sitting there, and they said, "Yazi, let's go. We have a ticket. You have a chance to go to Washington, D.C. And Navajo, Washington City, because that Washington Monument is a grave site for George Washington. It's the headstone. So when they mentioned food to Yazi, the agar. Chiyan yota kane. Ay, no. So then Yazi changed his mind, and then okay, he said, my horse and my supplies, it needs to go to my wife. Don't worry about that. The board will take it on, and your horse can be home tomorrow, today. So then he jumps in, and then they took off with him. So, and then they flew to DC, and 1 day, 2 days, they waited. On the third day, finally, they were called in to the budget and finance committee, and they had like over 3 weeks of meetings. This is the last day, and way down here on the agenda, new business is where Navajo Nation or the Navajo Community College. So they waited, and then finally it was that time. They were told to go into the next room, then you can go in. So they waited next door, and finally they got word. It was went on a 15-minute break, and they all reconvened and they sat down, and then they said, okay, bring him in. So somebody came in and told the stories that they told us to go in there. So we all went in there, and we all sat down in there, and we were right on the stage or right in the front. And after we left, he said, I guess Yazi Bike wanted to go to the bathroom, but he didn't know where the bathroom was. He opened the door and looked around. The hallways this way and the hallways this way. So he just waited in there, and he's desperate. So he opened the door again the third time, and then somebody is walking down the hall and went into a room in there. So if it's a bathroom, I'll do it in there, you know. So he goes in there, and sure enough, it was a men's restroom. So they did their business, this white guy and him, and they look at each other, and then they went out, and Yaz went back to the room. So this guy went back into the meeting and sat down, and just at that time, the meeting was called to order again, to reconvene. And it was announced that these people over here, they came forward to present talk. They probably need funding of some sort. So, okay. So this guy from the bathroom, he raises his hand and said, oh, I would like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to have only one person talk. We have these about 7 people there ready to talk, but the time is 3:30. We have to catch the plane. We had to get out of here, go to the airport, and fly out. So this is the last day. So then somebody seconded, and then there was asked, who is going to talk? The person that I want to hear talk is not in this room. The person that I want to hear talk, to listen to, is next door. I think he's the chief, because he's got his moccasin on, he's got his headband and everything. He's got jewelry on, and he's an elder. So tell him to come here and listen to him talk. So somebody went to grab Yazi, and Yazi comes in. And just like the way you're sitting there, ready to express, ready to talk, you're all rehearse your talk, and you have that packet to present. Talk about, budget, building, construction, and everything. They're all ready. And Yazibike comes in. He was over there at the ceremony in the afternoon and spent one night. He had no idea what was going on. But he comes in, and then he stands at the podium. They gave him 10 minutes to talk. And he grabs the mic right here, and he went like that. Then he blew into it like, and the storyteller said, dang, 10 minutes is nothing. Navajos, when they get the mic at the chapter house, they talk for like 1 hour until they get to the subject. Oh no, So Yazivike blew in the bullhorn and then was quiet. And then he opened his jacket in his pocket. He took out this one, Khadatin, like this. And then he takes it out, and then it was quiet still. And then he opened it like this. And then he put his 2 finger in there like this. Put it right here. And then Kuyidla. Out of from here, he said, Nasan Yadil. Hash one begin the net. Nature so the hot is an inch in the kind. Teach it. He Pelagana, the Jelly, Hapeso, oh, she to Hayu. Clat the Hadash Don, Clat dan Hito, Eben Yanika. Laid old cat or nil. It's zeal old cat or nil. Ad, the Hatchin, the Alka. Bizaad, Yin the Hidol, Beyin, the Sodden, but Otla. Naharata Yita Hidol, Eben Yanika. Deep bed, arts for that nature, Hojon Dolly. Arts for that bed nature, Hojon has clean Dolly. A whole art or the say. Hojon has clean, Hojon has clean, Hojon has clean. He closed his corn pollen and put it back in his pocket. And then he sat over there. It was quiet again. What did he say? So somebody had to come over here and translate. And it's a prayer that he did. He didn't recite it. He didn't read it. It came from his heart and his mind. And it's like a desire, a command. It's like the future blessing. And he taught to the earth, the sky, and all the divine nature. As for that, this committee would provide money so that we build a campus so that the Navajo student will come in to learn their language, their culture, their history, their ceremony, and they might even become Hataałii. And he said, Hojonasli, and that was it. He did a prayer. And he said, he did it in 27 seconds. But the record was 30 seconds. He broke it. The fastest time, 27 seconds. And this education that you're talking about, all those folders that you have, the end product, what are you trying to make? Is there the end product? At the end, if a student comes into your campus and graduate, they will learn to speak Navajo, learn their values, belief, faith. The product is going to be like that man sitting over there that came over here. He's supposed to talk to Congress. He's supposed to talk to the Budget Finance Committee, asking for money. He almost kneeled down and begged and cried for money. But that person stood over here and asked the creator to give money so that you build a campus. And that spiritual intelligence to reach out for help. Wow. The product is like that man with the moccasin on, with the headband and with these beads on, and that will be the character. And they said, okay, $27 million is going to be given to Navajo Community College as a funding for all today, for all tribal nations. It's that NCC funding, the Dine College funding for all tribal colleges throughout the United States. So that was established. It was Yazbek's doing. All those people that had those binders were all highly educated with the tie. They didn't say any word. It was through a prayer that the funding for this institution, for Yazbek, there is a check that says, paid to the order of the chief of the Navajo Nation, Yazbek, $27 million. That is only the first payment. So today, we still get that funding. And all tribal colleges, they take a chunk of it for the institution. It's a tribal college funding. So so this if you're going to go graduate from the college, if you had learned anything going to school here in Navajo studies, the next studies, if you learned anything, if you got anything, if you took something when you graduate, make sure you make your own moccasin to wear on the stage. Make sure and be sure you have your own jewelry that you make here to wear on the stage. Make sure that you have your traditional regalia, the box or the bile to wear on stage. Make sure that you have your cloth, your quiver, your bow and arrow, and walk on that stage and be a warrior and be intelligent. And if you are Navajo working here at this institution, if you're given the time to talk, speak, do a little prayer, if you know anything about culture here at the college, it will be a Navajo prayer, not Christian prayer, because this is the college. You see it, that's the way we are established. So, but a lot of people don't understand that. See, they need to go to our classes and learn this. We offer it here on the 5th floor. And Navajo language is like that. So we got some relatives that are knowledge holders. Thomas Lilliband Jr., he's a Hataałii. Roger Benali, Hataałii. Black Horse Mitchell, he is a Hataałii. They know what they're talking about. And that's who we are. What on that need tin go so I got to get acquainted with some people out of state, like Trudy Griffin Pierce. She was my sister. Like Charlotte Frisbee, like James Ferris, like David McAllister. Those people, those Filipinos, I visit with them and I talk to them. I flew out there to visit with them, be with them. So after Trudy passed away, on the will that she wrote, she gave me in my name a bunch of books. So I didn't have any place to store it in my room, in my house. So what I did is I brought it over here and gave it to the library. I hope they put it somewhere or downstairs. So, and then I went to David McAllister's home. I sat down with him. I sweat with him. I did a prayer with him. He knew how to sing Navajo song, especially the Tache Begin. And after he passed away, his daughter called me up and said, come up. So I went to Connecticut and I went to his home and then boxes and boxes. And he showed me the paper. It said, all these rare books goes to you. It's all yours. It says right here. So then I signed it and then it was all delivered to me on the 5th floor in my office, all the books in a box. Again, I didn't know where to put it. So I called the librarian to go up there, and then they haul it over here, and I think it's downstairs. So I just gave it away. So one of these days I'm gonna get it back, and after I retire, I'm gonna take it home. But those are some of the books that are in rare books collection. So they're all signed by the authors. So I contribute to the library. So that's what I wanted to share like that. So people come here, students come here. They come from their homes. Some of them are abused, neglected. Some of them they're trying to find a home, searching where they could be welcome, finding that this is a really good place here. And then they find their way into the studies and all of that. So they come home here and they get all right here. And the other thing that I want to share too is that I had a student, his name was John Benali. It's not a real name, I just made it up, so don't Google it. John Benali was in my foundation of novel culture. This was like almost 21 years ago. And in the morning, he would come in and he was drunk, smelled alcohol, and then he would sit over there, never miss a day, perfect attendance. And he was over there by the window, and he was just, I think, literally passed out. So going on like this, and he was a good student and didn't say anything, just sleep over there. And I gave an assignment says go home and get your clan and write it down and your history. Hawagon da do kato ni himasan da ni hitsheda. E ndabado kido di hate ni kahagi da ni atito ne da no klenigi like that. So out of the end of the class they left. So over the weekend they went home and they got their papers, and the next week everybody came in and sat down, but there's no John Benal. There was an empty chair over there. About 5 minutes later, he comes in, but he was sober. He was clean dressed, and then he comes in and sit right there in front of me, and then he listened. He got his paper, and he said, "I thought I was a drunken Indian. I thought I was a dumb Indian. I thought I was a crazy Indian. That's what people call me. I started to believe it, but I talked to my grandmother, and she said, you are a Shihi clan. You are not a drunken Indian. You are not dumb and you're not lazy. What are you doing? What are you trying to be? So by Sunday afternoon, I washed up and cleaned up. By Tuesday, Monday, my DTs are going away. Like Wednesday evening, he comes to class and he comes and sits down. So he is the one that came on campus and pick up trash. He's the one that came on campus and scrub all the graffiti in the bathroom on all the walls, and he painted. He's the one that went to the dorm and told the police to come in and said, that's where I bought my liquor. That's where I bought my drugs. Room. And the police came in there, they cleaned it out, and that was John Benali. This is our campus. Dine College. It belongs to us. Dine Nitlinigi. So we need to take care of it and make it our own. Don't let the Balagana take it away from us. Our language, our culture, our ceremony, our items, our jish, our medicine, as it is not for sale. We can do that. If we learn to speak Navajo, we can reclaim ourselves. If we learn how to speak Navajo language, we can reclaim our mind. If we learn to speak the Navajo language, our own language, we can reclaim our mother, our father, our Che and Nala. If we know how to speak our Navajo language, we can claim our children. And say, she yaza, she aware. Oh, isn't that? Eh? And that's our heart and our mind. So it's up to the young people, the young generation here. So don't be narrow-minded. Kind of open your mind and see what's going on. And we need somebody to do that. We need somebody in that Navajo Nation government that knows how to be Navajo. We want a Yazi in there. We want a Bike in there. We need to reclaim our government and stand strong. So I want to stop right here and thank you.
Open the floor for questions, but to accommodate our online viewers, we did lose signal and sound at the point where we were talking about the layout of the college. Do you think you can go over that just real quick again?
Go back to that slide then. Is it ready now? How about the slide before that?
Was around this one.
Yeah, the groundbreaking ceremony here at the campus is that we're going to put these buildings and we're going to make the school here. And what type of learning discipline do we have? We have a lot of stories. We have a lot of information out there, but we're going to use this one. The recreation of the four clans into the structure, the buildings. Let's come over here to, this is the library, say, and then onto the east side is the Hataałii building. We have 7 floors. That's Hataałii. And it was devoted, it was supposed to be the Hataałii Center. All the archives and all the stories would be over there. Hataałii Center. Out on the South Campus, that would be the second clan. All your math and all your writing skills and computer work is over there, situated over there. Because are already talented and already gifted to do that. They're the dorm, west side, our social development. So the boys and the girls dorm. Even the dorm on this side is the boys dorm, on this side is the girls dorm. So just like in the Hokan, in a ceremony, Ara ko de ya the gym. Ya hash ishni din because adod. So let's use that because all of these clans they have their own way of survival given to them to use. So all of them have different information coming from their clan origin. So let's combine that and let's put it over here. Psychology, the talk is. Philosophy, sociology, one, ina Hassan. Ara kojugo se Hassan. Ajugo ethics, law, behazani. So doesn't sin salado tatini the So campus. Man, it has all these different layer. The you've been each of them have their origin stories. They make their journey through time and they survive using na ye echo nantin. Hojonje echo nantin. Ado hatad de leo. And they use it to survive, coming this far in time. That's what they said. Let's make it like that. Let's make it authentic, original. So our Navajo thinkers. Any question? Come on, ask me. Yeah.
Yate, she not toten at Hachin in the Sando, my deskini Bashino, Nadal Gaidne, as it Hopan, the Shichero, Hashkan, so that's another. Hello everyone, my name is Tyler Johnson. I have a question for my grandpa here. You said that our medicine is not for sale, or zitnato and those other herbs. There's currently the peyote decriminalization that's going on. I wanted to know, these herbs that heal us, these herbs that have come into our Diné people we utilize in prayer. What is your thoughts about this azet hina, this nonce azet that we know of in our peyote way? What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah. As a Diné Hataałii association, this is my third year in terms of when I came on board, there was no Diné Hataałii association record. There was no paper. So on the first day, we said, let's make it incorporated. So we went to Arizona. So we became the Hataałii Association Incorporated. Under Arizona State, we have a number. We are established. And then we came back and we did our bylaws. And we put it in order. And then we had our first meeting. That's where finally voted in as president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. So we established ourselves as under legal term. And then we opened a bank account with Wells Fargo. And through that, I had 5 goals to accomplish. And this one is almost the 4th one is to stabilize. So, and we really can't go to the Navajo Nation government. There's nothing over there. Nobody cares a Tadatin over there. Nothing. They can't help us. So through this as knowledge holder, we have these in our possession. So we are the leaders. We are the spokesperson. So we need to stand up as Hataałii and speak to preserve, protect, and to reserve that our land, our water, air, our sacred mountains, our burial sites, our medicine, herbal medicine, would not be or fall in the hands of non-believers. In this case, rich Filagana, because they sort of like they use a language to confuse us. They're trick questions. So to go around that, the law is already there to protect us. So they want to go around it and then sneak around and have access to this. So just yesterday, the Nepalese Institute and myself, we wrote a statement and we put a patent on it, this intellectual property, and we filed it. Hopefully this morning we sent it because it's due on Friday. And in that letter, telling the government that all this is not for sale. You can't dismantle. You can't take something out of these medicine or anything. So these are our ceremony. It's not religion. We still use it on the Benahuitla. So to preserve and protect, shield our sacred items and sacred sites like that. So we're working on it. So we already wrote a letter. It's over there. Navajo Nation hasn't even done that. Their letter is missing. The president haven't even said anything on behalf of that medicine. So it had to be us to move forward. So to answer your question, anybody else?
I'll ask a question. So, you talked about the planning of the college. What is the significance of the statue that is right in the middle there? And the description, is it right where they planted, or what's the explanation for that?
Just imagine that if you have an institution like this, just imagine that if it was like the philosophy of this one right here, this is that you would maybe have glass and surround it, showcase it, and at the same time put that statue or whatever monument that you have would be inside that showcase. And maybe even take the crystal and put it out here. And our tinle, our east aunt listening. And just imagine to have a campus like this, and if our leaders understand that, if they value this, then it would be like in a room like this, and we could put this in there, and so everybody could see it, so everybody would know that this is here. So from that type of thinking, the elders, they said, let's put something where the groundbreaking ceremony took place. And since this college has the philosophy of the Cornstalk, right there, the groundbreaking was centered. Make that statue, make that monument, to significance is that there was a prayer done here, and it's a Cornstalk philosophy that's used here. So it's an indicator that this campus is on sacred ground. So no matter what we do, no matter who you are, you did something crazy, weird, or something way out there and you got hurt from it, you're going to come home and cry, but it has to go back to the cornfield. Lay that dog at that stage and put it here, put a basket there, wash you from the top of your head all the way down, and apply white corn, yellow corn on your body, and take that tadatin and put it back into your mouth, and then do the prayer and use the tobacco. Then you'll be all right. You'll be saved. You'll live. Ibn, yeah. So a place of healing, a place to come back to find yourself. A Navajo warrior is the product. A Navajo warrior does not get drunk and rip off his shirt and say, "Oh, I'm like that." Esto es olvida. A Navajo warrior means you are intelligent. You are ready to face any obstacle in this world, and you can become anybody that you want to be, and work and provide and have a family. That's what it means. So.
Yeah.
Yad Shea Kiltachini Nashla Tapan Bashichin Tatnesani Dashiche Bitani Dashnal Alana Benali Yanishia. My question is, I understand that the college has two ceremonies for the graduates during the winter and then the spring. I was wondering if the ceremonial song that you guys walk out to is related to like a tradition, not a traditional, but a winter song and a spring song, or is it just one song?
Yeah, about 41 years ago, they didn't have that kind of graduation. And I came to this campus, and because I do the Yebeche ceremony and I do the fire dance part, small version of it, my father was that. And how they used to do it was, if they was going to make medicine, if they was going to have a patient, then they would sing a certain song to go into that place. And a sanctuary, like an altar, a place where you're going to put these things there and sing there to make medicine. So I was thinking about it, and then at the time my father was over there at home, and I asked him what would be appropriate, what would be the journey song. And there are two songs that I use. In the springtime, I use Zilkaja. In the wintertime, I use just Hojonja Carlson. So that's how I use it. But in that college, they have, in the previous time, they had ceremonies here. So it will have a blessing away ceremony for the students. The student will put up teepee over there and have a zip and a reason why does that happen. Then the college, Navajo Nation Council, they gave the charter to Navajo Community College and the peyote, to legalize peyote, to use it on the same page, on the same legislation. At the same time, it was approved. So, 1968, they started from mini form high school campus. I didn't start the Yilaro, they brought it over here. For the students, they do that. Hataałii so you could just imagine that hopefully that some of our staff will be sitting here. Some of our Navajo instructor will be sitting here. but you don't see them here. Yash yatan zinshi. And that's just the way it is, you know.
Part of my question already got answered earlier. I was gonna ask so much about the patent, like is it utility, is it design, how many claims, all of that stuff. I hope it goes without saying that I hope it gets issued immediately by USPTO. And would you mind terribly if I use that story, because we secured the funding for the first few years of the Technology Transfer Center, but we will be writing more grants for additional years before it's self-sustainable. And this kind of story is basically just exactly what we were hoping for, not just the results of Western type research being patented, but results of the traditional cultural knowledge and research being copyrighted, trademarked, patented, etc. So that story that I've heard from you today would really help with our grant writing in the future, if you don't mind us including it. And also, just one more comment, if I may. Thank you so much for that metaphor, the message of a Dine person without knowledge of Dine Bizaad still being at a cradle board stage. It will definitely intensify my own efforts to learn Ukrainian as best as I can, because I want to be a Ukrainian adult as opposed to Ukrainian baby. So I'll definitely try harder with that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a lot of people from different areas, and just for example, Asian. And when they come to the classroom, they take the first seat, the first row, and because they want to hear it, and they open their ears, they open their mind to get it, and they do. And all the Navajos, they sit in the back seat. That's just the way it is. That's just how it is. So. And a lot of the stories that we share, a lot of the information that we share, they have, these different, let's say, countries, different people in different regions in the world. As a human being, somewhere our stories, they connect. They are the same things. And we are just living in this world all together. And we learn to survive by learning common sense, logic. But the prayer comes from the holy people, and we utilize it. So it's like that. So people come from different countries and different tribes. They come over here and they're seeking an information to take with them to where they come from, and they learn like that. So, and Navajos are always willing to help somebody in a need. So that's what I would say. So, I mean, there's a war going on, and a lot of things are conflict going on in the world. So we support the survivors. We don't need this war, and hopefully there's peace, no more killing, no more dying, like that. So we stand with that. So that's where we are, and that's how we feel about that conflict over there.
Yeah, we have time for one more.
Oh,
نانشت تخطين شاكني أنا باششين أدو نقدني دشتشيدو توريجيني دشناله أكوشي وشياج مدشني دولج بنا إدش كدي يا هو أنا مازش فلو كوا كامبسكي أتنش
2 seminars. That Hataałii Center, the old one is on the south side, and we have a newer one on the side too. So we use the new one for our ceremony today.
John Jonathan Lesnsene ya jo sendo na haga dat beta hotil as cha tina sa sitle na do yon kilpada hozenda akon ga ashchene ai siyinda dos as ashi ni pamato bejashi da betinde di kwete na college ke bohos da no do do ni Jonathan do leslota akoshe di tenek achiyatshi bohos do benashni higi asya da benashni akut ya reclaim that's all yeah relearn that's all yeah akut anjana benahosh to ko inst ko to akoba ahehen sindi the next studies hol yagi the neba alt khagi ni joni ye go da ainast khadi achne da tsita no shenigi ni jono da ainast kha landa ya besi hanashja at ekata shikayaje akon joni ya da thiga ba ahehen singo adishne
أخذ شمه هذه جدا in one of our class that's going to be in the catalog to register 101 102 103 that class is going to be centered our classroom is going to be in the Hogan. And it's going to be the evening class. We're going to build a fire. And you bring your own cushion, but you want to sit on, no chairs. And we're going to all sit on the floor. And we taught that for 4 semesters before the COVID. So that's where, if you want to learn to sing, you're going to learn to sing. And so many years ago, I was at the registration, and these Bilaganas, they all tease me and say, "Hey, Mr. Denny, take this class, learn how to do math, or let's do some history, and you can go to school and you can get a degree or some kind." So I said, yeah, right, So this is the next college. So if I want to learn something, I already know this ceremony, this ceremony, this ceremony, but I'm interested in this one. I'm not. Can you get me a teacher? I'll learn that. I want to learn that. Since this is the next college, this institution was built to learn Hataałii Nahaga. And there's like, go get back over there to their studies. Go move back over there. So if you really think about it, when is it going to happen? It's been 56 years. 50, 60 years ago, there's going to be a learning to learn how to sing, blessing way, protection way. That at the graduation, you could get your medicine bundle over there and be given to you. So last year, I did a Hataałii, and I initiated a brand new Hataałii way down there on the road. So I gave that medicine bundle to his hand, and he's going to start doing ceremony. But it's too sad that I did it over there away from the next college. And our provost lady was over there, and I said, this is not associated with the next college. So we could have a graduation and have Hataałii stand up, walk on the stage, and be acknowledged to get maybe a license to practice and give that degree paper to them. But it's not impossible. We can still do that while I'm still here. Like I said, I'm the last one. of those people. And if I retire like in 2 years, I'm walking out the door. I'm taking all this Hataałii Naharat tradition with me. And I have some, over there, I got some young men that I'm teaching. And I'll do it over there. It's my goal to do that. So I could do it here. We got 2 years. I could.
Wishy, Satnana, just she said she'll make it quick.
Ja, it's Mani Unisha, touching English, Belagana Bushchin, Topahanta Chanela, or Topahanta Che, Belagana Chanela. My question is, you talk about relearning who we are and how the Navajo tradition isn't a religion. And even for younger people, we still have trouble separating tradition from religion, but it's even more so for our elders, like for my grandma. When I ask her questions, she's quick to shun things away because she said it's not in the Bible. And for the youth, we have the college to relearn who we are. But for the elders, we have nothing. So I'm wondering, what can we do to provide for them?
So in this institution, there is a class that's offered under psychology. And in that psychology class, what we do is the Western world is over here. Western education, whatever, is over here. Even Christianity is over here. But then we come over here and we open our mind to that lens, a window that you could look only into Navajo psychology, Navajo philosophy, Navajo sociology, Navajo ethics and law and ceremony. So it's an opportunity to do that. Because of the past, boarding school, assimilation, colonization took our values and our belief. And a lot of the things that took away our language and our culture is education. Number one, Western education. That took a lot of it. Number two, Christianity took a lot of our belief. Number three, number four, number five. So people, believe it or not, or brainwash. So like I said, if you're Navajo, you're Navajo. You have your own language, culture, belief, and the way you pray. That's bottom line. That's just the way it is. But I said, my Lord Jesus Christ, amen. So you don't have to do that. It's over there. 4 times, and that's it, So we have to draw a line there and say, this is over here, and this is over here too. So for you young people, you need to understand that you are Navajo. So that's what we try to teach here. And they call that foundation of Navajo culture, Navajo history, Navajo oral history, Navajo holistic healing, Navajo psychology. So so if you are interested in all of that, there is an opportunity here. At home, there's nothing. So only place that you'll find here.
Wishy, yeah, Dr. Denny. Yeah, thank you very much for taking part of this 3-part series for the Kia'ani Special Collection series. I invite everybody to come up to view some of the resources. We have the Good. Okay. Yep. So just coming back again, we have our special collections for the Dine Educational Philosophy Lectures. You can be viewed here in the library only with ID. It is in the AV room. Thank you again. These recordings will be available on the events website. Oh, can I get a picture?